Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to On the Open, where we take a look at all of the action that's occurred so far on the European markets here at MarketStream.live. My name is Joseph Cusick from the Cusick Group, securities offered by MoneyBlock. We're taking a look at the international component of your portfolio. Now, some of you might ask, well, what's the big deal? Why do I have to care about international? Well, it's one of the diversification tools that you can utilize. Foreign stocks move differently than U.S. stocks quite often. Let's say that you're a conservative investor, and here's a risk profile of 28. What does that mean? They want capital preservation. They're risk averse. So when you look at this model portfolio, you'll see bond ETFs. You'll see some exposure to the U.S. markets, but then you're also going to see exposure to the all-world ETF. Now, this is a model portfolio just to give you an idea, but bottom line is that you're going to have about 20% of your portfolio exposed to different types of equities. 5% of this conservative portfolio, this portfolio that's looking to preserve capital, is in EFA. This is an ETF that tracks European stocks, Far East stocks, and Australia. That's 5% of the portfolio, which is basically about 20% of their equity portfolio holdings, right around there, 25%. So with that being said, that's why the information that we pass along to you here at MarketStream.live about Europe, Asia, and the U.S. markets, as well as Australia, is very important. And as a matter of fact, if you'd like to get access to this report, all you have to do is go to the Premium Toolbox on MarketStream.live, go over to Premium Toolbox, and go to the risk assessment. All you have to do is a quick questionnaire, and I will send you a copy of a model portfolio that fits your risk profile number, and that'll be customized to you. All right, folks, let's jump in and take a look at the markets. And right now, the European bourses are really performing quite well. As a matter of fact, if you take a look at the German DAX right now, it is up about 0.6%, 73 points at 12,052. This has been an impressive run, continues to be an impressive run in Germany. As a matter of fact, the euro right now, taking a look at the euro currency, is actually performing quite well, holding up against the dollar. Basically, the pair is up nominally about 0.5% at 106.33. That continues to be the story in Europe, where the currencies have actually started to show some strength. You've also seen that interest rates, after the ECB came out yesterday and did say that they will continue their policies as far as monetary easing. They're going to be continuing to infuse capital. They are going to be moving from April 1st. The anticipation is from 80 billion euros a month to 60 billion, but they're going to keep the program through the remainder of the year. They're also saying that inflation and growth is higher than their expectations, as well as their forecast going forward. The question I have for all of this, though, is that, yes, that's all positive. They say everything's great, but they're continuing the life support on the patient. I think that there is some political volatility that's going to be happening. Most specifically, it's starting in France. It'll start in Britain when they trigger Article 50 at the end of March. March 23rd is the anticipated date. We're also watching the French elections and the German elections. And the German elections, they could start getting a little tighter, and we'll watch the DAX. But right now, clearly, the bulls are in control in Germany. Taking a look at the UK and the FTSE, right now you have the FTSE up about 0.75%, up 56 points at 73.70. Little bit of a mixed action here, especially after what we've seen with the movement in the miners, as well as in the energy sector. There also is some headlines that are coming across about British Petroleum. There could be some M&A activity. Again, we're not ready to report on that, but we're seeing that the action right now and looking for this week, the FTSE has been performing quite well. As a matter of fact, if you look at the performance this week, they're trying to finish the week at its best levels that we've seen all week. And as a matter of fact, we are seeing the best levels of 2017 being challenged. And you got to go back as far as you can go back a couple of years. You can go back 5, 6, 7 years, 6 years before you're going to see anything This performance right now in London has been off the charts, and it looks like on this weekly chart, they're looking to challenge that upside and try to establish some new highs before the end of the week. Taking a look at the French CAC, again, up about 0.8%, up 40 points at 5,021.50. You can see that it's basically trading right off of its best levels. And for the week, we're trading right off of its almost its weekly highs. And we could have new highs going in 2017 being established this week in France, in spite of the fact that we've seen some volatility, to say the least, in the political front. Marine Le Pen, who is a populist candidate, she gained some traction. That has obviously pulled back as of late. She is calling for, if she's elected, to move back to their currency, away from the euro. That could be very detrimental for the French economy in the short term. So we're going to keep an eye on that. But again, the bulls are clearly in control in France. And if you want to keep a pulse on any of these underlyings and you don't have access to either these futures or to these indices, you can, for France, you look at EWQ. This is an ETF that basically tracks the French indices. And you can see the weekly chart, again, trying to re-challenge the highs of 2017. Been an impressive move here. EWQ, you could take a look at EWU for the UK. EWU, this is interesting, challenging that 20 and 50-day moving average. If you're a bull and you're looking for exposure, if it can hold in this particular area right here on this 20 and 50-day moving average, if it can start to push to the upside, folks, you're going to see that above that 3150 level, that could be a bullish sign for EWU. And then for Germany is EWG. This is an ETF. These are all very liquid ETFs. They trade in the States. So when the markets are closed in Europe, these are then trading here in the US. You can clearly see that EWG has not only mirrors the DAX, but it also has the most strength out of all of the European ETFs that we follow. This one, again, coming off of its best levels for the week, but still trying to finish the week in the green, and we'll watch that very closely through the close of today's session. EWG is the German ETF. All right, folks, that is it right now for On the Open. Join me at 9:30 Eastern Time. I'm going to be covering all of the action that's going on here in the U.S. markets. We'll see you then here at MarketStream.live.